Hey guys, Jason M here, and I wanted to talk to you guys about the recap of Google I/O 2016. And this is just what happened at the keynote, the key parts of the keynote, which I really love, the key announcements. And let's get started. So something that really stood out to me was Android N. And we already knew so many things from Android N, like multi-window and display tweaks and other kind of settings that were in Android N. Now we've had some announcements of different things coming to Android N, and one of the things that's coming is Vulkan, and this is actually going to help your GPU perform a lot better. It's an API for developers that's going to help your GPU perform a lot better, which means you're going to have smoother games and more effects in games. That's more immersive gaming and more realistic gaming too. They also promised 75% faster installation times. That's your apps will install 75% faster than they did on any Android version before it. There's also the possibility for developers to reduce their app size to up to about 50%, which is really huge because if you think about it, developers can now compress their APK sizes to 50%, which means you will download just a smaller package from the Play Store and you'll still have your full apps. There's also the ability to have instant apps, and that means you don't actually need to install an app to have things running, which is really cool. Meaning that if you have a link, let's say to a different app, you just need to click the link, get into the app, and it's very simple. You'll be able to use the app as if you have it installed, and once you hit the back button, you go back. So that means you don't need unnecessary apps on your phone every time. You can use the app even without having the app. And I really find this cool because there are some apps I really don't want to install, some like Facebook or something. So if you're using Google Chrome and you get a notification, what you can do is just click it, go into the Facebook app, interact with it, and get back without ever having to install the crappy Facebook app. Now we also have very improved security in Android N. There's a lot of security improvement in Android N. And finally, the big thing that was also coming that people never really suspected was VR. Virtual reality is coming to Android N. And this is true. Something that Google calls Daydream is actually going to be something integrated into Android N. They say devices will come out with specs for Android N later, but I believe even devices right now on the market already have this. Google just needs to figure out what's going to work and how it's going to work and then integrate it into the devices. But for sure, what I know is maybe the Galaxy Note 6 and devices coming after that are going to have these specs for Android N. That's even the new Nexuses down the road. Google also announced Google Home. What Google Home is just a hub. It's kind of a speaker like Amazon Echo, but it's really small and portable, and also customizable because you're able to customize it the way you want on Google's website, especially the base. You customize it with fabric or any material available. But the good thing with Google Home is you'll be able to interact with it with Google's new assistant system, like how they say it. Google's assistant is like an evolution of Google Now. It's more of you talk to the machine and the machine talks back to you, able to read context and behave more like a human being instead of just a machine. You can interact with it, ask it questions, it does things in your daily life, update your schedule, calendar, everything. It can even control other devices in your home, all using Google Cast, because if a device uses Google Cast, what's going to happen is simply going to be controlled by this Google Home. And that means through Google Home, you can control everything else in your home. And Google's going to team up with developers also, which is going to make Google Home even better because they'll integrate this with many other services and apps. And what's going to happen is you'll be able to control much more stuff than just Google Cast enabled devices. Like I said, this is an evolution of Google Now working on Google Assistant, which was announced, but for me, it wasn't really that huge because I already know Google's AI system is massive. Google has a whole artificial intelligence system that is working on, and Google Now is just a tiny part of it. And Google Assistant is an evolution of it, and this Google Assistant will be part of Google Home. It's very small, portable, customizable, but for now pricing has not yet been announced, and also for the fact that it's going to be available just down the road. That's in summer or after that. We don't really know when it's going to be available, but it said available later this year, as they always say. Now Allo is a rich app which is also going to integrate Google's Assistant. That's going to be able to suggest you maybe restaurants or stickers or emojis or even YouTube videos based on your conversation. So Google Assistant is also going to be integrated into Allo. Now with Allo, you'll be able to also chat. You can chat with anybody you want, and it uses your phone number. I think if you've ever used TextSecure, it's going to be the same thing because Allo is encrypted and it has end-to-end encryption. It's secure communication from end to end to make sure that the government doesn't spy on you, as people are always freaking out, government is spying on me. They also have a video calling service which is called Duo, And Duo is actually a good video calling service. The good thing about it is extremely simple, very simple and bare bones. But I like the feature where if someone calls you, you can actually see what the person is doing before you pick up. That's if maybe someone else uses, let's say someone else uses your brother's phone and calls you, you can actually be able to see the person if it's not your brother, and either if you don't like the person, you don't pick up a call, which I think is really handy and I really like it. Now, Google worked a lot in tweaking communications with this thing that it makes the app simply very fast, and it also reduces latency on video calls, making it actually a very good video call app. The good thing about this is it also benefits from end-to-end encryption, just like Allo, and it's an encrypted video calling service that will work alongside Allo and make it awesome, which is really good. But as I said, still not impressive. Also, Android Wear 2.0 was announced. You can check that out in the card just above. A new Android N preview was released, and it actually works with Android Pay, and from what I'm hearing, it's extremely stable, so go ahead, download it and try it for yourself. And that was basically it. Not a lot from Google I/O this year. It wasn't as mind-blowing as, let's say, 2 years ago, even years ago when material design and other stuff like that was announced. But I think overall, it's still a good announcement because it just comes to show us the power of Google. It shows us that Google is far more advanced than so many other companies, especially with that AI stuff, to be able to make machines learn everything we do. And it sounds creepy, but it's actually going to help us because if machines learn, we don't need to give them so much more information. They're going to use the information, and with encryption, as Google says, nothing is kept on their servers. Everything is discarded off as soon as you finish using the service. So it's actually really good. So if you like the video, please leave me a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel.